Yeah, she's calling back. We're going to try to give her a call again, and then she just added another phone number to the 13-year-old grandson who's possibly with the daughter. Step out with this.
2412.
Veteran crisis hotline's calling in, so they have a female veteran off her medication. She's at work to Safe Haven. Checking 12, take a check that one out.
6-1 bullet, 2-1 start, take a shot.
Officer still stands for talk? No. Offender in custody? Temporary with thanks. Anyone else close, wait to zero, so let me know. First number. 10-4.
6-1 bullet, 2-1 start, take a shot.
Officer still stands for talk? No. Offender in custody? Temporary with thanks. Anyone else close, wait to zero, so let me know.
3-3. I'll let a supervisor know that I have a case report with an aggressive attack.
1830. The owner of the
Is it gonna work or what? Come on, StreamYard. Oh. What the heck? It's not showing me. Okay. Give me one moment. I apologize. I have to jump out and come back in. There we go. Okay. Sorry about that. Oh, man. Woo! StreamYard. Good evening. Thank you for calling. I apologize profusely. Oh, it's not Streamlabs, Susan. It's StreamYard. Coming out with a bunch of updates and not fixing anything, but we're going to be getting into a new case tonight. It's a case that's not really getting any attention. When it comes to the details of this case, it kind of reminds you of a lot of these other cases that we've covered in the past. Something takes place, it's a rich area, suspicious circumstances, and everything is brushed under the rug. And that's what's happening here, I think. So I first came across it on somebody's page on Twitter. I'm going to share her link. And I saw it and I watched the video and I was like, And she was like, what are your thoughts? I watched the video and then she's like, tell me what your thoughts are in the comments. And I'm like, it sounds to me like rich connections corrupt law enforcement. And I pat your back, you pat my back. And that's what I feel. Now, it's kind of interesting when we'll go into the details of it. It just don't make sense. Terrifying screams at night being heard by witnesses at the boat dock. Police are not able to be there unless, obviously there's a crime. It's an exclusive area, very exclusive, very rich. Well, what happened is her boyfriend was naked and then found her deceased on their boat. Now, a lot of stuff that doesn't make sense. There's some stuff that was found around the boat. You'll see as we kind of get into this stuff, you'll kind of see what the atmosphere was. But it really does sound to me like somebody's being protected. It sounds like things are being brushed under the rug, and it's not right. It's unfortunate. And that's right, Ginger. Money talks. And it's not. I mean, you see it right now. We only have 26 people in here right now. You see it. You see what I'm saying? But it was one of these cases where, yeah, it was one of these cases where it's like, you know what? You hear the details and you're like, this is so messed up. This is not cool. This needs to be talked about. And you see what's taking place. Not a lot of stuff. Not a lot of stuff. So I came across this video a couple days ago. And then I was like, yeah, I need to start looking into this one because, yeah, I'll let her, I'm going to share her video and I'm going to share her channel. And I came across this on Twitter, I came across her page, and this was the video I came across. I was like, what the heck? It just didn't make sense. So, all right, let me play this for you, and then I'll share the link. Her name is, hold on one second. Let me share the link to it. Sorry, my sinuses are acting up right now. We got done with our other show. I ate supper, took a shower, and after I got out of the shower, my sinuses are just wilding out. All right, let me share this real quick. And we will get into it now. Some of it might be triggering, okay? Just as a heads up. All right, so let's see here. If StreamYard will allow me, I should get like a tattoo of that. If StreamYard will allow me. Oh, gosh. All right, so this is her channel. And like I said, I came across this video. Here's the link to it. Go show her some love. Here's the link to it. And I was like, what? It says a fashion designer was found dead on a yacht. What really happened? And I was like, right here, it says Martha Nolan-O'Slatarra was found dead on a yacht and the details aren't adding up. What do you think happened to her? Do me a favor, go give Kelsey a follow. Drop a comment in this video. Let her know what you think. You know what I'm saying? I'll let her speak for it. It's kind of what I came across it, and then I'm like, oh yeah, need to look more into this one right here. All right. Again, here's the link. Go show her some love, and this is what she has to say.
An Irish designer dies on a yacht, yet screams were heard at midnight. This is Martha Nolan-O'Slatarra, a 33-year-old Irish fashion designer who was found dead on a yacht in Montauk. But the mystery is just beginning. Originally from Ireland, she moved to New York at 26 to build a brand, East by East, launching resort wear pop-ups in the Hamptons. One just weeks ago. On the night of August 4th, yacht club members reportedly heard screams coming from the docks. Around midnight on August 5th, Martha was found unconscious on the Ripple boat at the Montauk Yacht Club, and they tried to revive her. Police say her body showed no signs of violence, and the preliminary exam was inconclusive. An autopsy is now pending. Nothing points to foul play or explains how she died. Did something happen on the boat that no one saw? Will the autopsy give us answers? Friends called her driven, magnetic, and full of light. One wrote, "We built so much from nothing. Fly high, girl. Somebody knows something." What are your thoughts about what happened here? Write in the comments below. And make sure you hit the follow button because I'll continue following this story and bring you the very latest. So
when you hear that, you know what I instantly thought? Why is Why is the boyfriend naked? Why is the boyfriend naked? Oh, probably because he had to discard his clothing. Now, there was some things that were found on the boat. We'll get into that. It's not for sure if it's an actual substance or not, but there was some stuff found by the boat. But you have to put it like this: if there was a substance that was being used that night on the boat, he's still held responsible and accountable. He was there too. So he's still held responsible and accountable. Something's being hushed up. All right, so go show her some love. Leave a comment in her video. Let her know what you think. I just, foul play, screams at night. I don't understand how no. Doesn't it sound like some of these other cases that we've covered and that we've done work on? No foul play. The first one that I came across, and we went out boots on the ground, was 2020. When was it? I think it was the fall of 2022. Went boots on the ground. Stephen Smith. We did a lot of work for Stephen Smith's case in South Carolina. If you're not familiar, part of the Murdaugh murders mystery. We went down there first. That was my first boots on the ground trip. October, September 2022. No, it was December. My bad. Went down there, boots on the ground, the first trip, and yeah. We had already done a lot of work on that one, exposed a lot. We went through even the sled reports. And there was 2 individuals and a stepdad that was really my main focus out of reading all of the documents and the reports and the autopsies and all that other stuff. There was two young gentlemen and a stepfather that was my main focus. And then around about a year and a half ago, that's when they switched it up. It went from accidental to homicide. And then those 2 individuals that we were focusing on from the very beginning, and they are the suspects, the main suspects in the homicide now. I mean, it just, so when you see this stuff and you start to put it together, it will tell you the truth, regardless of what mainstream media or even law enforcement might want to put out there. The evidence will speak for itself as long as we have access to that evidence. All right, so I'm going to go into this episode here. This is going to kind of give a little bit of a background about who she was, what she was doing, and some of the information that just came out. But I want to go to this article first before we get into some of these videos. Now, this article, this is a police share an update on the case, and this is as of today when this report just came out. So this, let me switch to this real quick. And this is from Yahoo News /E News. Well, why did she scream? I think there was, this is, you want my honest, uncut opinion? I'll give it to you. I think there was a fight. I think they were out there partying. Okay, this is what I'm already feeling when I started coming across it. I feel like the boyfriend was jealous. I feel like the boyfriend was a jealous boyfriend. I feel like the boyfriend was not really happy for her success. She had gained a lot of success very quickly. Her and her friend made their own business. They were getting successful very, very, very quickly. And so I think I need to lay that down first, okay? That's what I think was taking place. I think that she was outgoing, a go-getter, driven, and he was more of the party animal. I haven't looked into any of them yet, but this is just what the vibe, the energy is what's telling me. Party animal. Then she started to get so much success here recently, and I think he became jealous of it. And what I think took place is there was some kind of little get together with them too. Maybe more people were there. I don't know. Well, details will come. But I don't think him showing up naked is plausible. I think him being there naked and but what I think took place is that they were out there on the boat together. They might have been enjoying whatever. And then a fight took place. Because with intoxication, you're not thinking clearly. Okay, you're not thinking clearly. You already have my vibes telling me jealousy from the boyfriend. You mix that with the not thinking clearly, the intoxication, the jealous rage, and then all of a sudden something went too far. I get the vibe like there was some kind of physical altercation, which then led to Now, how you hear screams, the next morning, there's a woman deceased laying on the boat floor, and then the boyfriend is standing there naked. Something obviously happened. I don't think she had a heart attack. So there's a lot of secrets here, but this is the police update as of today. Oh, we got a video? Let me see. I'll just go ahead and read it. Authorities are piecing together the death of Martha Nolan-O'Slatarra after the fashion designer was found dead on a boat docked at Long Island's Montauk Yacht Club. And if you look up the Montauk Yacht Club, you will see money, money, money. Money Manziel. The Suffolk County Police Department shared new details about the case. An autopsy conducted on Martha Nolan-O'Slatarra, the woman found dead on a boat in Montauk on August 5th. Just a couple days ago, you guys. Just a couple days ago. Did not show evidence of violence. The August 6th update noted her final cause of death is pending further examination. Now, obviously, they have to do an autopsy, and then the autopsy is going to come back. But just like I was bringing up Stephen Smith's case a minute ago, they performed an autopsy. What happened? Oh, the coroner and the medical examiner ruled in favor. Like, what do you want me to put on this paper? Remember, that was in the reports. When the reports were finally released, we read that the coroner medical examiner was like, well, I'll just put down whatever you want me to put down then. Because the police were like, no, this looks like a hit and run. This looks like a hit and run homicide. The medical examiner coroner's like, no, it's accidental. I don't see what you're talking about. Makes me wonder. Oh, you guys didn't know that? Oh, yeah. Trust me. Yeah, you'll find out in a lot of these cases, the coroners and the medical examiners, a lot of times, have no business even being one because they don't even have the schooling to be one. They're voted in. They're voted in. You could literally apply. In some states, you can literally apply to be a medical examiner, coroner, and you know what? The coroner especially. It's wild. And the coroners are the ones that are determining all of these. Okay, now you can move the body. Oh, this is what happened. This is what took place. It's crazy. It's politics. I think there was just I think there was a lot of jealousy. Like I said, I haven't looked into it, but it looks to me like, you got some dude that's just wanting to party all the time, and then you have a female that's driven and has, laser focus on the goals and success. Eventually the female outgrows that shit. You know what I'm saying? They're like, dude, like, don't you have any ambitions? Don't you have any dreams? No, I just want to drink beer all day. Yeah. I think, hey, I'm just saying, we'll get into it more. It's not going to be we're going to be doing a lot more shows on this because this needs to have attention. It does. Nobody's really talking about it. There's a Nancy Grace episode I'm going to share with you. Kelsey brought it up on one of her videos. That's how I came across it. And I was like, yeah, instantly didn't sound right. I was like, yeah, we need to bring attention to this because something happened. Here, let me play this. Oh, no, that's not it. All right. It says officials shared in the press release that East Hampton Town Police arrived at the scene after a man who found the 33-year-old's body called 911 around midnight. Okay. The man who found her body called 911 around midnight. Although CPR was administered on the designer, per authorities, she was pronounced dead at the scene. Was CPR performed? The Montauk Yacht Club, which sits on a sprawling 16-acre waterfront property, emphasized its commitment to working with officials. That's a lot of property. 16-acre waterfront yacht club. A spokesperson told CBS News, "We are saddened to learn of the tragic incident that took place. Our team is cooperating with law enforcement in their ongoing investigation and remains committed to the safety and well-being of our guests and staff." Now, how many of you guys want to bet that the boyfriend knows people, right? I mean, if he's got the boat and he's part of this lavish yacht club, I mean, well, there you go. All right, here's some short videos here real quick. Like I said, these are all new. This literally just happened 2 days ago.
We go to Long Island now, where there's a mystery on Montauk. A woman's body was found today on a boat docked at the upscale Montauk Yacht Club. Just shocking news to those who live nearby. News 4's Greg Circle live in Montauk with the latest on this investigation. Greg.
There has to be.
Natalie, Suffolk police have set up an investigation.
But that's if the yacht club, oh yeah, those cameras weren't working that night. Oh, those cameras weren't working that night. Yeah, they weren't working. Something's up. Something's definitely.
Command post here at the Montauk Yacht Club. Homicide detectives were called here around 4 o'clock this morning, but so far they've yet to say what may have happened to the woman who was found dead. The Suffolk police investigation here at the Montauk Yacht Club has now stretched through the day. Homicide detectives are trying to determine what happened to a woman whose body was found early this morning on a boat in the yacht club's marina.
We woke up this morning and there was a ton of police presence. You could see out into the marina and you could see the yellow tape partitioning off the boat.
Pam Muller was staying at the yacht club's hotel and calls the scene there scary. Police have yet to say if foul play is involved, explaining only that the manner and cause of the female victim's death have not been determined.
It's such a chill resort. It's such a chill atmosphere. You never see anything remotely like this. So it was unnerving.
The Montauk Yacht Club's website calls its marina the largest in the Hamptons.
The largest in the Hamptons, right?
Sitting on 16 acres along Lake Montauk. It hosts boats ranging from everyday cruisers to 300-foot-long super yachts.
Ooh, what?
Downtown Montauk is about 3 miles away, now bustling with tourists.
What did he just say? Whoa, hold on a minute. What?
It hosts boats ranging from everyday cruisers to 300-foot-long super yachts.
300-foot-long super yachts? That's as long as a football field. How would you even... I'm sorry, I'm just struggling to imagine. Like, when we've been on the lakes, doing searches and stuff on the John boat with Trey, you see like little yacht boats coming by, some stuff like, here, let me see here. You see some stuff like this one right here. The one that's up and to the right. I've seen some like that, right? But my mind is like trying to picture a super yacht that's the size of a freaking football field, man. Like, hold on. That's wild. Let me hold on. Let me look this up on Google, man. This is I'm just trying to I'm struggling to try and see it in my mind. All right, let's look at some photos here. All right. Let's see. Ooh, that looks really nice. I like the wicker. The wicker looks nice. I like that. I'm trying to picture it, but right, Ginger? That's a damn cruise ship. How do you drive? 300 feet. Like, I don't know. Maybe because I never was around that stuff. I don't know. Here. Oh, here's a video. Hold on. Oh, look at that. They got what is that? Treadmills out there too? It's like treadmills or something. What is that? What are they? Does anybody know? Can you guys see that? Hold on. I don't know. Can you guys see that? Here, I'll here, let me zoom it up real quick. Oh, okay. Okay, there we go. What are these things that are sticking up? What is that? It looks very, very classy, high society type, High society. That's a short bed. What the heck? Like, you're only going to be able to have the back of your knees reach the end of the bed, then your feet are hanging off. Unless you sleep the other way. That's just kind of weird. Huh, that's interesting. Wow, look at that. Whoa, look at the shower. That is freaking gorgeous. Dang, look at that shower. A patio heater? Oh, okay. Look at that shower, man. I am jealous. It's got it. I mean, why do you need it? Why do you need a TV in the shower? But anyway, look at the tile and the wood. Ooh, that is nice. That is nice. Got a lighthouse. Looks really, really, oh, look at that. That's gorgeous. And then there's another little video. There's got to be a lot of partying going on. I mean, come on. Wow. It makes me want to get all dressed up, you know? Look at that. That is beautiful. The wood. That's one thing that I love is just natural wood. I think it's the most beautiful thing in a house. The natural wood, just. They got a little snack bar. I bet those bags of chips are like $15, $20. Another little video. Oh, wow. I bet that looks really nice at nighttime too, with all those light bulbs lit up. Man, look at that. That is beautiful. There's the pool. Huh. I expected it to be bigger, honestly, but look at all those boats. Right, Caddy? Now that's bougie. Jeez. I'm trying to, where's this yacht that's as big as a football field? That is so beautiful. Look at that photo. They got the American flag draped over. That is so beautiful. Man. Man, that is beautiful. That is beautiful. All right, let me let's go to Google Maps real quick. $259 from so for 2 nights, $259. 4-star hotel. Oh gosh, it's actually $350 for 1 night. Wow, $350 for 1 night. I guess they had the same hotel prices in Nashville, so I guess it's not that crazy. Nashville had hotels the same price. So here's, wow, look at how, holy crap, look at how big. Okay, so that's something else over here. Look at this. Look at all those boats. Wow. There's a yacht club. So Sam Star Island Yacht Club. Wait a minute. So there, so it's not just one yacht club, it's a whole bunch of different yacht clubs. So the Montauk Yacht Club is right here. Ocean Club, Montauk. So those are that video we saw. Yacht Club, Freewire, Safe Harbor, Montauk Yacht Club. So, okay, wait a minute. Okay, I'm not familiar with yacht clubs, so you guys might have to school me here. Yeah, exactly. You guys are gonna have to school me here. I'm not familiar with yacht clubs. What's up, Latina? Is it just a couple buildings? I mean, because like I'm looking at this and Star Island, that's like Mario Brothers. What? That's weird. Star Island. That reminds me of Super Mario 3. Oh, to be a kid again. Yeah, so is it just buildings and everybody just like who? Maybe okay. But see, there's a yacht club right here. So does that mean that this yacht club owns this and Montauk owns this? I don't understand it. So if you know about that, let me know, because that might help a little bit. It's kind of interesting that there's another yacht club right here. Okay, so at first I'm thinking, oh, this whole island is this yacht club. So why would they snitch on each other's brothers? Okay, why would they snitch on each other's brother? But if there's like yacht clubs all over here, well then where's the investment to keep your mouth shut? Especially if you're a different club, right? Isn't that a good thing? Like if another club goes to hell, then you can get some of their members or something. I don't know. That's weird. Okay, let me go back to this here. It's weird.
Downtown Montauk is about 3 miles away, now bustling with tourists enjoying the height of the summer season. Word of this mystery comes as a big surprise to those like Jessica Miller.
Oh, is it a tourism thing? They don't want the bad look from kind of like it's like when something happens in Aruba or something. Shh, nothing happened. But here at a yacht club, maybe it's the tourism. They don't want the tourism to get affected because then they might. I mean, the economy is really bad right now, and there is a lot of businesses that are shutting down or filing bankruptcy. A lot of major corporations too. Maybe they want this to remain quiet so it doesn't affect their tourism, and which in return affects their survival as a club. I bet that has something to do with it.
Who like to escape here.
Yeah.
So just think of Montauk as, a happy place. Yeah, and people come out here to vacation, spend their time with their family. It's just a very small, quaint, safe town.
That's what it is. That's what it is. They don't want the tourism to get affected. It's a quiet, safe town. We always come here to relax and chill. Huh. That's what it is. How big? Hold on. How big is it? Oh, wow. Look at this. I didn't realize. Hold on. Okay, so look. You got Lake Montauk. Now look at this. I didn't even realize this. Watch when I zoom back. Look at how way out in the way it is. Look. Look at how way out of the way it is. Wow. Wow. Way out there. That's crazy.
Now, the Montauk Yacht Club has not responded to our request for comment, and I reached out to Suffolk Police just a few.
Yeah, they ain't gonna answer nothing because they don't even want to. Doesn't it remind you of like Sigma Chi with Idaho 4? I mean, the crimes are completely, or technically, this isn't a crime because they're saying no foul play, but I'm saying I'm saying it is. Doesn't it kind of remind you of like the group in the club and the hush hush, and we don't want to affect anything? Yeah.
A few minutes ago, and they said right now there's no update on their investigation. We're live in Montauk. Greg Sergel, News 4 New York.
What? Corn Pop, you live in New York City and would never drive out there. Why not? Let me know. Further than the Bronx, and you don't want to drive there either. Well, why wouldn't you want, like, why, if this is like a rich, you know, little Flamingo Avenue, look at that. Flamingo Avenue. Interesting. Why wouldn't you want, if it's rich, why wouldn't you want to drive out there? Isn't it? It's got to be like beautiful, no? I'm not from New York. I've never been to New York. I never even had a desire to be in New York because that's just a lot of people, man. That's just a lot of people. So what's the reason why you wouldn't want to? I would think if it's like a rich, wouldn't it would have to be like a beautiful drive, right? You see a lot of really nice homes and structures, and yeah, like the flaunt of money. Why wouldn't you want to drive out there? Just too far? The traffic or something? Too far and not my scene. I got you. What can you explain, Corn Pop? Can you explain to me like what you said? It's not your scene. Can you explain the scene? Can you explain like what the scene is, what the vibe is, what? Now I've heard a lot of it's real rich and, you know, button up snobby type stuff. No empathy involved. Describe the scene if you can. And thanks for hopping in here and checking it out. Rich white people, second and third homes, beach houses. So it's a lot of, what's up typically? It's a lot of get along to go along, high society type stuff, right? High society. Get along, go along, pat my back, pat your back. Pretty much everything that I was saying. Yeah. Yeah, I can imagine. That's not my scene either, Corn Pop. That's not my scene either. I got too much empathy in my soul with my occupations before YouTube, yeah, I had to be around that scene with my occupations before I started doing YouTube. It was never my thing, man. I felt so fake. And it felt so fake, and it just wasn't comfortable. It just wasn't. I'd rather be jamming in some PJs or something. But around the water, it's people hold on one second. Yeah, money talks. The lawyer dad, the doctor mom. I got you. Yeah, money talks. It's people who's put houses around the water that you can't get over there. Snotty people. Hold on one second. Thank you, Caddy. Let's see here. Thank you, Caddy. The Suffolk. Oh, it's probably not showing at all. Is it? The Suffolk County Police Department confirmed to Fox News Digital that homicide squad detectives were notified at approximately 4 a.m. on Tuesday morning after the woman's body was discovered aboard a vessel off Star Island Road in Montauk, a high-end marina destination at the eastern tip of Long Island. Suffolk County Police Homicide Squad detectives are investigating the death of a woman who was found on a boat docked off Star Island. The woman's called. So they did have homicide squad detectives out there, but they were notified at 4 a.m. So if the naked boyfriend called 911 right after midnight, why would it take 4 hours for homicide detectives to get there? Wouldn't that be somebody that, you show up at a scene, a female's laying on the boat, her boyfriend's naked, calling 911 after midnight. They obviously went and talked to people because people were telling them that they heard the terrifying screams. That's where the witness statements came from. So why wouldn't you, 4 hours? 4 hours? What's up, Busby? No, it's not Lisk related. This is something completely different. Life has to be born. Yeah, it's crazy. All right, let's go back to this. This is from CBS News. This just happened 2 days ago.
We have new information tonight in the death of a Manhattan fashion designer whose body was found on a docked boat in Montauk. Long Island reporter Jennifer McLogan has preliminary information from the medical examiner.
The startling discovery has rocked this seaside village. An unconscious woman found on board a boat at the exclusive Montauk Yacht Club on Star Island Road. Good Samaritans attempted CPR, say police, aboard the vessel named Ripple. But 33-year-old fashion designer Martha Nolan-O'Slatarra was pronounced dead at the scene. Her heartbroken business partner issued a farewell on social media saying, "We dreamed big together, laughed harder than anyone else could understand, and built so much from nothing. Love you so much. Fly high, girl."
That's the business partner, but Dylan is the guy in this picture. The business partner. Oops, sorry. My phone's making noise here. Now, they were getting successful very quickly. Well, they're still determining the cause, the manner of death. It just happened 2 days ago. I think they'll probably have that information Well, it should be available to the public. It'll probably be available Monday, Friday or Monday, maybe. Unless they're doing it today. I don't know. With it being in New York, it might actually, it might be like 4 days or something, and then you got the weekend, and then they'll come out with the report. That's if they want to release it too, but I'm sure they will. I mean, if there's no foul play, then there shouldn't be any reason not to release it. Look at all those skulls in the background.
Issued a farewell on social media saying, "We dreamed big together, laughed harder than anyone else could understand, and built so much from nothing. Love you so much. Fly high, girl."
The place is blocked off.
Fisherman George Miller had just come in from catching
Fly high, girl.
fluke when he said docks surrounding the area were cordoned off by East Hampton.
Fly high, girl. Why wouldn't you say something like, "Man, I feel so bad. It's a complete shock. I'm devastated. I'm heartbroken. Prayers to her family. Prayers to her mom and her loved ones. Fly high, girl." What the hell?
Police.
Somebody was taking her to the hospital, you know what I mean? And then later on we talked, and he says, I heard she arrived at the hospital, was expired.
It's the height of tourist season, and Martha Nolan, the name she used professionally, left her East 83rd Street Manhattan apartment for Montauk. She
The height of tourist season, too.
usually had her clothes laundered across the street.
She was a nice customer, just no problem at all.
Hi guys, this is Martha from East by East.
Posts on her TikTok account feature a vibrant young woman dedicated to building her summer wear brand.
Oh, I love it. Look at the detailing too.
She also posted that her fashions were sold at Gurney's Spa in Montauk at a pop-up site this summer. According to her LinkedIn profile, Martha was from Ireland and graduated University College Dublin, where she also earned a master's degree in marketing.
So they sold clothing and designs at the club. So they had a little pop-up store at the yacht club. Well, Corn Pop, there was some stuff that was found around the boat, but this is where, because I heard about that too in the beginning, but I also, when it comes to the screams of fear. Oh, yeah. Not on purpose. But what I'm saying is, like, when it comes to the screams of fear, where do you think that comes in, though? Because the screams of fear that were reported from the witnesses from that night, if I'm thinking about an OD, I'm not really thinking somebody's going to be screaming. You see what I'm saying? You know, normally if that's going to take place, you're losing your function and you're losing your, you're losing your strength and your function and all of that, your awareness, you're losing all that. So the screams were coming from before that. And it was the female that was screaming. She screamed. So that's where I'm like, because I heard, that obviously crosses your mind too. But when it comes to the screams, that's where I'm like, okay, how does somebody that's ODing isn't like, oh gosh, come help me. They're not. They're like, oh shit. It's completely different. So that's where the scream thing, I'm like, something's weird. Something's weird.
They say a preliminary investigation and exam were both inconclusive regarding cause of death. Suffolk County Medical Examiner's Office says there was no sign of violence, but her final cause of death is pending further examination. Families on boats and shopping on Main Street were abuzz.
We come out here every summer, for vacation, and it's definitely a little disturbing to hear that happened, and we don't really know why.
I don't think anybody's in jeopardy. I really don't. Everybody needs to just cool their jets.
It's very unfortunate. This is a place a lot of families like to come every year to celebrate the summer.
Those who knew her describe an energetic young entrepreneur, always with a smile and a kind word. From Montauk, Long Island, Jennifer McLogan, CBS News, New York.
All right, so I'm going to go ahead and switch to this. Nancy Grace did an episode on it too. 1 second. All right, here we go. This is she has some guests on too, so we're going to listen. And there's somebody that's from the area as well, I believe, that knows a lot about the Montauk area and the yacht club. Do we know who owns the boat? Did she catch him cheating? I mean, there's stuff. This happened just 2 days ago. There's very minimal information. It's just the vibe, the energy, usually the vibe and the energy are not, they're leading me where that goes. And I don't know, there's just this weird feeling about it's meant to be hush hush. I mean, you just heard a couple of those people that were being interviewed and they were talking about, it was not good, oh no, scary, oh geez, this is where we're supposed to go to chill back. We don't want this. Caddy says the boyfriend was naked and to get their attention, do something. Yeah, he's probably intoxicated. I mean, because who knows? I mean, it almost sounds to me like he passed out or something and woke up. I don't know. Something's weird. Something's weird. The details are going to come out as the days come. Trust me.
Breaking news tonight. Midnight screams. A beautiful young fashion designer found dead on a Hamptons yacht. And I can tell you this, nothing good happens after midnight. Midnight, Hamptons, the playground for millionaires. A dead woman on a yacht. I'm Nancy Grace. This is Crime Stories. I want to thank you for being with us.
Blood-curdling screams heard in the middle of the night at the Montauk Yacht Club. First responders board the boat to find 33-year-old Martha Nolan-O'Slatarra unconscious. A night of partying now shrouded in mystery.
I can't stress it enough. I've told a million juries this. Nothing good happens after midnight.
She's funny. I've told a million juries this. Nothing good. I'm sure you've told everybody that because that's usually what you tell your children. Nothing good happens after midnight. Oh, geez.
And all of the wealthy neighbors there by that yacht club hear screams at midnight and a woman's body found on one of the yachts docked there. Straight out to Tisa Tales joining us, investigative reporter, star of Tisa Tales on YouTube. Tisa, what do we know right now?
What we know right now is that this woman was found unresponsive. There was a naked man screaming in an elusive private club. But the thing is, the police aren't giving that much information. But if you know anything about the Hamptons and you know anything about Montauk, what they're not telling us is explaining the whole story. Montauk is literally the end of the Hamptons. It is exclusive. It is wealthy. It is sexy, but it is also very quiet.
Okay, so being at the end of the Hamptons is like this exclusive. You've been deep diving the case, Bridget? What do you think, Bridget? What's your opinion on what do you think? What do you think's going on there?
Unlike the Hamptons, whenever something happens, in Montauk, and in Hamptons, it's on the front page of page 6. In Montauk, things quietly get swept under the rug.
Oh, she said it right there. In Montauk, things quietly get swept under the rug. It's kind of like when schools sweep bowling under the rug. Oh, that wasn't bowling, honey. You know, they do that because then it affects their funding. That affects their money. Yeah. It's like what we were saying in the start of the show. It affects that money.
They're letting us know, they're not releasing who actually found him, the boyfriend's name, which is highly unusual. It was his yacht. He owns 2 in the marina. It lets you know.
He owns 2 boats? He owns 2 freaking boats? Oh, she was going through a divorce? I didn't hear that. So that's what it, bad dealings with business partner, love interests, like get you out of the way. I wonder, was she getting a divorce because of the business partner? Wait, was she married to the business partner? Or was the business partner the reason that she was getting a divorce?
This man either comes from deep pockets, deep money, maybe both. When you get into...
Well, yeah, you got 2 freaking yachts. Shoot, I don't even have one. Yeah.
Montauk, billionaires go to play. Everybody knows everybody. She was very well known. But yet, there is heart.
Well, I mean, if there's a lot of substances going on, that's why I don't drink and go out and about, because, shit happens and you might not even, you know what I mean? Like, it's better just to stay home. It's better just to stay home. Crazy.
Anything in the media being released about this. A lot of residents are thinking that something is being swept under the rug. And let me just tell you something about Montauk. There have been confirmed drug rings where the limo drivers are delivering drugs flown in fresh from the DR.
What? What? Who is this lady? Who is this lady? She says that substances are being flown directly in from the Dominican Republic. There's rug rings. Who is this lady? How does she know this stuff? Who is it? Hold on.
Authorities are piecing together the death of.
I go. Oh, what the hell, man? Now it's going to like wrestling documentaries. Hold on 1 second. What the hell just happened? Frickin'. Oh my lord. Who was that? Andre the Giant or something? What the hell? Okay, hold on. I'm trying to find who is this? Come on, StreamYard. Who is this? Hold on. We're at 2 minutes and 30. Tissa Tells? Hold on.
At midnight, and a woman's body found on one of the yachts docked there. Straight out to Tissa Tells joining us, investigative reporter, star of Tissa Tells on YouTube. Tissa, what do we know right now?
What we know right now is that this woman,
Pop culture investigator and commentator. Is she from New York? I don't understand. How can... That's a bold claim. A TikToker? Oh. Yeah. TikTok. Okay, but how did she lived? So this girl right here lived in a small studio? Or is that the victim? How does this like? That's a bold claim to sit there and say that rugs are being flown in from Dominican Republic. I don't think our government would be allowing that, and if they are, then it's still under an investigation. I'm just, okay. I don't know. That's kind of wild, man. Hey, I wonder if they're still in chat. Corn Pop, are you still in chat? Let me know if you're still in chat, Corn Pop. I don't know. I don't know if I even want to like. I'm sorry. It doesn't sound very credible to me right now, and I really would rather not entertain whatever. Where does, oh gosh, she's on that episode all the way up till here. So, I'm going to wait till Corn. You know what? I'll go back to it. Corn Pop, let me know if that, I don't know. It doesn't seem, I don't even know if I want to entertain it because it doesn't seem credible already. I mean, come on. Like being flown in from the Dominican Republic all the way up to frickin' New York and the government doesn't know about it. Give me a break. I mean, come on. Give me a break. All right, we're going to go to this next part. Maybe we'll come back to this.
David Lynch era creepiness surrounded by money, wealth, and influence.
Dan Murphy, that's total BS. They have no idea what happened to her. I mean, you can look at a body.
Martha came from big dreams. Yeah, that lady, I mean, the whole, substances being flown in from the Dominican Republic. I'm sorry. It doesn't seem credible. I'm not going to entertain what she had to say. Obviously, it's about views and not about, anyway, I'm not going to.
Body and tell. Is it stabbed? Were they strangled? Can't always tell if they're asphyxiated or suffocated. You can very often tell if somebody's been poisoned by the way they smell or whether there's foam coming out of their mouth. That sometimes takes toxicology. ODs take toxicology, but you look for bruises, you look for injection sites.
Yeah, and usually with an OD, there's going to be some kind of sign that gives you the sign that it was an OD. Like, there's signs that you can tell that people that happened. Whether depending on whatever substance that they OD'd from, there are signs. There are signs to show, different substances, different things happen when it comes to OD.
There is no way. They have no idea what happened to her. That's not true.
When you look at a scene will tell you a great many things about what happened to that body at the scene. That's why crime scene investigation and evidence recovery is so important, and documentation of that. In this situation, any dead body that's found under suspicious circumstances, that area is considered a crime scene. Whether or not there was alcohol or drugs or anything else in that area, we don't know. They're being tight-lipped, as they said. And they might be tight-lipped. It might be smart.
Put Dan Murphy up. Dan Murphy,
also,
look,
yes.
Nobody on this panel just fell off the turnip truck, Murphy.
Or maybe the husband was like, "Hey, business partner, I'll give you a good chunk of money that I probably would have lost in my divorce. I'll give you this good chunk of money and to invest it into your business. Let's just make sure that, we both have a mutual interest in her being gone, right?" Could it be one of those situations? We both have a mutual interest in her being gone. And look, man, I was gonna lose 50 million to her in a divorce. I tell you what, I'll give you 7. I'll give you 7. I get to keep 43 of it. You can have 7 of it. I can see that stuff happening too.
Put a dead woman after midnight on a yacht in the Hamptons, screams, and a naked guy. Is somebody suggesting that this was just death by natural causes? What this young girl kills over with what? A heart attack?
I'm not suggesting that. I mean, I don't know, but I do know this much.
He's like, I'm not suggesting that.
I know that the scene will tell you a great deal more they haven't told us. The scene itself, the body, you're right. When you examine a body at a scene, it's not nearly as thorough as an autopsy. However, there are many things you can look for that will tell you something about the death. Evidence of petechial hemorrhaging will tell you if there's asphyxia.
Hi, guys. Nancy Grace here.
Oh my gosh, $39 a bottle. Get fresh Nancy. What the hell is that? Oh my God, what? What the hell?
FreshNancy.com.
What the hell?
The beautiful 33-year-old shares glimpses of her life online. Pop-up shops in Montauk, New York, rooftop drinks and private jet getaways with her boyfriend. But behind the curated posts, something
Oh my God. I'm sorry.
darker may have been brewing.
What happened to this beautiful young fashion designer that was finally making it after working her fingers to the bone for years and years, coming from a small town, getting her education and working literally like a dog? Then she's thrown into the milieu at the Hamptons, specifically the Montauk Yacht Club. So far, they're not responding to calls and questions. Wonder why. They don't want to be near.
Right. They don't want to say no. They just want it to go away and everybody to forget about it. You heard a couple other people already. Oh, this is not good.
Anything close to
What's up,
a
Sarah?
dead woman's.
Have you heard of this, Sarah? Have you heard of this? Have you heard of this case? It just happened a couple days ago out in New York. Have you heard about it? We're trying to bring awareness to it because there's nobody really discussing it, but I don't know. I just came across it from this video on TikTok from somebody, and it smells like rich connection, LE corruption. sweep it under the rug. I pat your back, you pat my back. We good. We move on. I just heard about it today. I don't know too much. Yeah, we're just learning about it too. Wild. It's wild. It's so wild.
Body on a yacht parked at their yacht club. No wonder they're not returning phone calls or.
Yeah, I think somebody's being protected. Damn sure. It's like it I don't know. Like at first I thought it was the business partner, the dude, and there was some stuff going on. But finding out that she was married, the divorce was almost final. Obviously stuff stuff not going good between business partners. But the thing is the dude was naked. Why was the dude naked when he found her? Why was the dude naked? Something just, I don't know. There's just too many things that are like, it just don't seem right.
Emails. Same thing with the LE there. Law enforcement. You can't pin them down. Why the secrecy?
Yeah, she was found on the boat. She was found passed on the boat, and he was naked, called the cops shortly after midnight. Like, the dude was naked. It's crazy.
Well, first of all, when you don't know where to go, you look at your victim because that's all you've got. Let's take another look at her.
Hi, I'm Martha, the founder, CEO, creative director, you name it, of East by East. We are launching a resort wear line soon. We just got our first round of samples back, and I wanted to share some first looks with you and see what you think. We got another crochet. This is floor length. You can see the beading.
Oh shit, I'm gonna get in trouble. Hold on. I'm just gonna mute it while she's playing this because I'm gonna get in trouble.
Catering to the rich and privileged. They're in the Hamptons.
Yeah, because they had a pop-up shop. They had a pop-up shop for the clothing right there at the yacht club. No, she was never missing, Sarah. She was deceased on the boat. She was deceased on the boat. Melanie Littles from the area. Oh, you know what? I did she did a video like yesterday or something, right? I think I went in her I think I was in her stream today for some other, because I came across that TikTok video. I came across that TikTok video, and then I was like, I need to look this up here. And I think that was one of the videos that came up. And so I subbed up to that attorney. And then I think she was having a show. I think, yeah, because I was in there. It was about some other case, though, I think. So she's from the area. Huh, that's how I know about the pending divorce. Oh. I'll have to reach out to her to see if she'd be cool with me. Because I don't know the area. I've never been up there. I've never even been part of the whole high class society shit. Except for like boardroom meetings and company parties and stuff like that. But not like I'm going there on a Saturday just to go kick it or something. I've never been there.
Specifically Montauk. Again, joining me an all-star panel straight out to Sydney Sumner, joining me, Crime Stories investigative reporter. Sydney, what can you tell me about the Montauk Yacht Club?
Well, Nancy, this is a very big yacht club spanning 16 acres.
It is huge.
They have access to one of the largest marinas in the Hamptons. There's a restaurant, there's a pool. They have paddle boards and chairs set out on the beach for people to enjoy. They have tennis. There's plenty of space to host events. And as far as I know, this is a very high-end area. This is a very expensive resort stay if you were to stay here for the weekend. And I think it's frequented by celebrities.
What more can you tell me, Chisa?
Oh gosh, hold on. I can't do it.
Business, pathologist, toxicologist, neuropathologist, and more.
If you want to see what she has to, I mean, it was already ruined with the Dominican Republic, Pablo Escobar shit. All right. So there's the link if you want to see the whole thing. She is not from Montauk, but knew it was a very.
Dr. Coyne, that's total BS. That they have no idea the COD cause of death. I was talking to Dan Murphy about it earlier, about why would a cop even say that unless they wanted to keep it on the low down, because you can look at a body and see, is there a stab? Is there a gunshot wound? Is there a ligature? Is there a manual? You can't always tell asphyxiation, poison, OD, but you can get a really...
Oh, most of the time, yeah, you can tell there's different signs with different substances when it comes to an OD. I'm not going to go in through them, but you can look them up. You'll see there's certain things that happen to the body or with the body that shows you a particular substance.
Good idea, right?
But yeah, there was no violent means of death here, but it doesn't mean that she didn't die of something related to toxicology. I would also say that, in this case, there was no report of her having a significant natural disease. She's young, but, she could still have, pulmonary embolus or a blood clot in her lungs, or, for instance, an aortic dissection, perhaps even like a ruptured ectopic pregnancy. If there was
Coyne, there he is, Dr. Coyne.
Yep. If there was something that was significant natural.
You graduated near the top of your class in medical school. I know you're a toxicologist, a pathologist, and so much more. But you're actually, I had to see your face. I want to make sure you're saying this with a straight face. It's after midnight. You got a guy running around naked and drunk, apparently, on a yacht at Ritzy Montauk Yacht Club. A dead girl screams.
Sure.
And you're actually saying maybe she died of natural causes.
Nope.
No. I'm saying there wasn't any natural. If they had found a natural cause, they would have, released that with the cause of death. So I'm saying that they didn't find anything that would suggest a natural cause either. To me, if I were a betting person, I would put my chips in the toxicology pile. Right. Because again, like I said, not having any violent means identified at autopsy, I would wait for the toxicology report to come out.
Hold on.
Yeah, because if that's what they're releasing, that's all you can go off of. You got to wait for the autopsy. You got to look at the coroner's notes. The charts, and the toxicology. Now, they're still waiting for those results. I'm thinking it might be maybe tomorrow afternoon or maybe Monday, I would think. But who knows? It could be a little bit longer because it is New York and they have a lot more people that they have to get to for that kind of thing. But I would assume typically it's a few days to a week when those are done and performed. Now, whether they want to release it right away, that's up to them. But like I said, if they're saying no foul play, then there's no reason not to release the autopsy report and the toxicology and all that other stuff. Right?
Dr. Coyne, remember, you're a medical doctor. We're just mere mortals. Dan Murphy, I want you to break it down in cop talk, everything Coyne just said, because when he says it's going to be toxicology, in other words, she could have been slipped a roofie and had a reaction, or too many roofies. Think Natalie Holloway. Remember Natalie? Jorn Vandersloot, who lies through his rear end. Just imagine that just one moment, lying through your rear end. Yeah, that would be right. Lying through his rear end. That she choked on her own vomit. And we all believe she had been slipped a substance in her drink at Carlos and Charlie's. That would be voluntary manslaughter at the least, if not murder, felony murder. In other words, when you slip somebody a roofie, a date drug, or anything in their drink, that is an aggravated assault, akin to shooting them or stabbing them or hitting them in the head with a rock. That's an aggravated assault. So if someone dies during an aggravated assault or any other felony like burglary, that equals felony murder. A death occurred during the commission of a felony. It can be any felony, but if a death occurs during it, here's a great example. You and I decide to rob a bank, and before we go in, I say, listen, Murphy, nobody's dying today. Nobody's going to die. Okay? Don't pull your gun. You go in, and the first thing you do is shoot the teller dead. I'm just trying to get some money, but I'm going to be charged with felony murder because a death occurred while I'm committing a felony. So if anyone puts something in her drink and she dies, that can be a felony murder. So when he is saying toxicology, that can mean a whole lot of things.
Yeah, toxicology is going to tell you a lot of things, but it may not tell you a lot of things. Exactly how those substances got into her body, if that is what the cause of death is determined to be. Now, in this situation, we always look at the totality of the circumstances. We had these screams being heard by other people in an area where you do not hear screams unless it's probably somebody laughing loud. We've got screams heard from a young woman on a yacht. We've got a naked...
See? Screams from a young woman on a yacht.
Guy running around screaming like a lunatic. That's my girl.
So she was screaming, and then he ended up screaming.
Girlfriend, that's my girlfriend.
You know, another thing.
That's my girlfriend. That's my girlfriend. The reason for the divorce. That's why I said I'm not drinking alcohol and going out, this and that, because shit happens, man. I just stay the F home and I'm good. I ain't got to worry about nothing. Nothing.
No, right there, Dan Murphy, before we lose a thought, Greg Morse, something Murphy just said. Normally, if this were anywhere but the Hamptons, you would see the boyfriend, the naked boyfriend, and he would be on the front page of the Post.
Right. He'd be getting brought in, questioned. We would be hearing about, this guy found her and he was naked and this and that. It's like, yeah, nothing. Nope, nothing to see here. Just wash your hands, move on. Nothing to see, nothing to see.
With a little black
nothing
box
to see.
Digitally removed. Okay, we wouldn't show that. He'd be on the front of the Hamptons News, the Montauk News, the everything. But we can't even get his name. Again, he hasn't been charged with anything, but
It's Dylan, that's what,
I mean, something. The owner of the yacht, the witness.
2 yachts.
Why aren't we seeing anything? And no one has attributed any wrongdoing to him yet. Where is he?
No. Yeah, well, that's again, like it's other people have talked about.
Right?
This is a wealthy area. It's right by the Memory Motel, made famous by the Rolling Stones. They made a song about the hotel. But
what? The Rolling Stones made a song about the hotel?
But this is being kept quiet because it's a rich zip code and it...
What song is that? What song did the Rolling Stones make about this?
To him yet. Where is he?
No. Yeah, well, that's again, like it's other people have talked about. This is a wealthy area. It's right by the Memory Motel, made famous by the Rolling Stones. They
Memory Motel. Let me write that. I need to know because I love me some Rolling Stones. Memory Motel.
Made a song about the hotel. But this is being kept quiet because it's a rich zip code and it'll hurt tourism. And this is what happens in places that perceive themselves as special because of money.
Yeah, it'll hurt tourism. Hush, hush, hush. And then he looks, and then he's brought in, and then all of a sudden everything gets exposed about their clique. Everything, all the dirt, all the dirty dirt. All of a sudden everybody's skeletons come out of the closet. And they definitely don't want it to hurt It's the height of the tourism season. And 3 out of the 4 people they interviewed were like, oh, like it was so negative that took place. Yikes.
UCHI, koyuchi.com/Nancy. Thanks, Koyuchi.
It's better than Nancy Fresh.
A glamorous summer trip in Montauk, New York. 33-year-old Martha Nolan-O'Slatarra boards a so-called party boat, but her dream life takes a chilling turn.
Party girl, party girl, party girl. Why are they saying that about her? Do they think we won't care? They did something similar in the Long Island serial killer case, Rex Heuermann, may he rot in hell, waiting for trial, who murdered one sex worker after the next. After the next, there's even a child that was murdered, I guess because the child was with the mom. All of those victims have been dragged through the mud like we wouldn't care about them. Are they doing the same thing with Martha? How would you feel if this were your child and she's being portrayed like that? She is anything but a party girl. Listen.
Growing up, Martha studies commerce at university before earning a master's in digital marketing from the Smurfit Business School. Describing herself as the small town girl who needed to get out to achieve her big dreams, Martha says fashion is a tough industry and it would be a slow road. At 26, she leaves her small town and relocates to New York City.
Martha begins launching pop-up events to promote her summer wear fashion label, East by East, in the Hamptons, and quickly gains recognition.
But yeah, we launched about 2 years ago, and
All right, I gotta mute that again. Oh, thank you.
and yeah, we'll
Going back there this summer, you will see us. Yeah, we'll be doing some brand activation and some brand partnerships, some like wellness stuff. And we will also, of course, throw some parties, some pool parties with really cool DJs. So yeah, stay tuned for that.
I wonder how much she was trying to scramble to find a place to throw a pool party for her rich clients. But listen to what she did. She grows up in a small town, studies commerce at university before getting a master's degree in digital marketing, and somehow reaches her goal of relocating in New York City. Very hard to do. It is a dog-eat-dog world. Launching pop-up events to promote her fashion label, and finally,
Well, I'm sure her business partner had all the buddies that were buying up all the stuff. You know, like, yeah, you're successful if I guess you can look at it in 2 ways: money or items. And when you have really rich people, right, and you got the wives that might want to wear some and they'll spend an extra, ungodly amount of money on a piece of clothing, don't you think that they probably promoted the clothing? Don't you think they probably promoted the clothing to the wives of the rich guys? Oh yeah. And then you're charging like $200-300 a dress just one, and then you got all those people, all the different connections. Yeah, let me just buy one. Let me try it. Yes, that's her business partner. And yeah.
He launches a retail location in Montauk, Walton Beach House. Wow. Okay. Sydney Sumner joining us, Crime Stories investigative reporter. What can you tell me about that? Because I'm thinking, Sid, she put all this online. Anybody can read it. She's basically saying, here I am, come and get me.
Yes, she was a very frequent social media user because she needed to promote her fashion line. And now there was a separate social media presence for East by East, but Martha Nolan herself was also always posting about her brand, trying to make it bigger. Right. So lots of people knew who she was, had met her in person. I'm sure she spent days and days at her pop-ups. It wasn't just somebody running it. I'm sure she was there herself.
I mean, that's one of the things when you're mixing social media. I mean, that's why one of the reasons when I go out boots on the ground is it's so dangerous for me, because people know where you're at, and sometimes the people don't want the truth to come out. Now, when it comes to that, yeah, you might have it's a social media age that they can use that if they want to, you know, if people want to use that, you know, for their motive or whatever. It just, with technology, it just makes it more available. So, well, okay. I really like the guy. This is why I'm saying, like, that dude had way more influence than he probably wants out there. That's why I asked in the beginning if he was the reason why she was getting a divorce. Because you're out there partying. She probably wasn't a party animal. But when he's partying all the time, and then, you know, you got to think, like, when you're going out there, the rich social high society stuff, there's a lot of liquor there, you know. I would go to like, you know, I used to have to do work for the Cleveland Browns owner, and I did stuff for LeBron. You go over there, you see, especially the Cleveland Browns owner, you would see like whiskey and all this stuff sitting on the table, a little glass with rocks, and there's always like a whiskey glass with rocks in their hand, you know. It's just like, damn, there's so much liquor. So much liquor. And I don't think he was a good influence on her, you know. Like I said, I think he was this party animal, and she was around him a lot, and I think it's like I said, I'm not going out to the bars and stuff, you know what I'm saying? Like, if I'm with somebody, I'm not going out to the bars and all this other stuff. I'm just going to stay at home. Shit. Because as much as I don't have that type of, you know, soul in me to be unfaithful, doesn't mean it's 100. There is nothing that's 100%. The only thing that's 100% is making sure that you're not even in the situation where something could happen like that, because nothing is 100%. You can go in with the, you know, the best intentions, and all of a sudden the mind is altered a little bit, and you're not thinking right, and, you know, shit. But it had to be fun. I mean, think about it. The dude owns 2 freaking boats. He's out there partying all the time. He's a party guy. party animal. I'm sure it had to be fun for her. I'm sure it had to be fun. You know, all these people are around, everybody's laughing, having a great time, drinks are flowing. I'm sure it was a party, and she was having a great time, and then you mix it with them, you know, getting this success, and it just, you know, maybe it was an OD. But if it was, somebody still should be held accountable, because just like any of these other cases, if there's somebody that sells a substance, if there's somebody that's with somebody and there's a substance, I don't think she's going out to meet Cracker Jim to get some powder. I don't see her doing that. I see him doing it. I could see him doing it. And then that the dude's naked? It sounds like there was a mixture. Like ecstasy and something else. You're naked, man. You're naked. I wonder if ecstasy was involved. That'll be interesting to find out. I wonder.
Someone who is so driven and wants to succeed and wants their brand to succeed. And it's also heartbreaking. We saw a post from Martha's best friend who funded East by East, saying goodbye to her and saying what a good friend she was and how inspired and how successful he hoped she would be with this line. So it was heartbreaking to see that. But yeah, so people were very, very familiar with her life just from her social media presence.
It opens the whole investigation up to a lot more suspects because of her social media presence, advertising where she is. But what do we know about that night? Listen.
It's such a chill resort. It's such a chill atmosphere. You never see anything remotely like this. So it was unnerving.
After the East Hampton Town Police and first responders pronounced Martha dead, the county's homicide squad arrives on scene around 4 a.m. and takes over the investigation. The preliminary investigation and exam were inconclusive regarding the cause of death, and an autopsy was performed by the Suffolk County Medical Examiner. Final cause of death is pending further examination.
So you just think of Montauk as, a happy place. Yeah, and people come out here to vacation, spend their time with their family. It's just a very small, quaint, safe town.
From our friends at NBC, to Dr. Thomas Coyne, medical examiner, pathologist, toxicologist, neuropathologist, what will they be doing in the autopsy to determine COD specifically, since they're telling us right now that there's not any obvious sign of death? In other words, no stab marks.
Well, that's what an autopsy is for, Nancy. So that's what the autopsy is for. What is she wondering here? They open up the body, they make a Y incision, they open up the body, and they look at everything. Hello.
But when you think about it, Dr. Coyne, remember Ellen Greenberg stabbed 30 times.
Oh yeah,
and
that's a
including
wild
in the
one.
back, and the police said that was a suicide.
Yeah,
Okay, with Epstein, he's clearly got a ligature mark across horizontally his neck, not a U-shaped mark that you would find in a hanging, and they said that was a suicide. So how will we get the truth, and what will the coroner or medical examiner be looking at to determine her COD?
In those two examples, the problem really was a manner of death, but the cause of death in this case, they did a thorough autopsy, which included an external and internal examination. So they would have been able to determine if she had any fatal injuries. As I mentioned, skull fractures, bleeding in the brain or around the brain, stab wounds, gunshot wounds, or evidence of strangulation.
Come on, Nancy, you know that. That's why it's like, why are you even asking that question, Nancy?
With regards to natural disease, obviously there's no significant natural disease processes, but they're probably going to continue to do additional histological sections.
When
to look
you
more
say that,
deeper.
Dr. Coyne,
Yeah.
Can we clarify? When you say no evidence of natural disease, you mean like cancer?
No obvious cancer or structural heart defects. So a young person, very rare for a person of her age to have a heart attack, right? But there are certain underlying cardiomyopathies or congenital heart defects that can cause a sudden cardiac dysrhythmia where they could, suddenly the heart stop.
Put him up. You're back on a heart attack on a young girl on a yacht
Not
at
a heart
Montauk
attack.
with a naked
Not a heart
boyfriend at midtime.
Well, sure. I've seen everything.
I think you need to get off the natural causes, doctor. I know
I don't
you
think
keep going back to natural
causes.
causes.
I didn't feel it was a natural cause. You asked me what they're doing with the autopsy procedure. Because they did not find anything to indicate a fatal injury, they're going to look a little bit deeper to make sure there wasn't an underlying genetic variation that could cause a sudden heart rhythm abnormality while they're waiting for toxicology results to come back. So they're going to keep everything open just to make sure they can find the cause of death. But right now, there's no obvious cause of death. There's no fatal injury that they could see on the external or internal examination. So like I said, right now, they're going to follow up with toxicology testing, and they may do additional testing to try to catch something that they couldn't see with their eyes at the autopsy. So for instance, like myocarditis or inflammation in the brain, something that you have to use a microscope to find. That's a last ditch, resort finding. But right now, they're just waiting on toxicology because there was no obvious fatal injury that they were able to see during the autopsy.
Dr. Coyne, how do you determine if someone was, for instance, slipped a roofie, GHB, gamma hydroxybutyrate? How do you determine that?
So I would have a toxicology report that would just label or identify, the drugs that were found. If it's an unusual substance like Rohypnol or for instance, GHB, you would have to then turn back to your law enforcement.
I'm just thinking, I don't know, when somebody's naked, and it just makes me think ecstasy. How hot you get, how you always want to be touchy-feely. I've never done it. I've been around people that were on it, and I'm just like, I would make fun of them. Honestly, because I'm like, I'd be looking at him like, if you could only see how you're acting when, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, if you could only see how much of a just weird, you look weird. Oh man, that's just what it says to me. Being naked, running around like. It's like there's some kind of ecstasy or something. I bet you when that toxicology comes back, I'm wondering if he slipped or something. And, something happened on accident or something. And I don't know.
Officer
got too scared to call it in. And then when it was too late, you knew it was too late. Then I'll call it in because then, I don't know what happened.
And try to figure out how they obtained that drug. Because that autopsy and even the toxicology report wouldn't tell me.
How do you physically do it, Coyne? Do you take tissue? What is tissue? How much do you take? Where do you get it? Do you draw blood? How long can you draw? How long can you have a dead body and still draw blood? I mean, how do you get it?
Sure. So we take blood at autopsy. We get blood if available. We'll try to get any other fluids that may be present in the body. So eye fluid or vitreous fluid. We get urine. We can get bile. We can also get tissue. So sometimes our cases are decomposed. We'll have to try to obtain tissue to see if we can find the presence of a drug. That may not allow us to tell you the amount of the drug or a good idea of what that person had in their system at the time of death, but it'll at least allow us to identify a drug.
Well, I'm pretty sure that you're going to be able to see. I'm pretty sure you're going to be able to. I mean, it's not like the next day or something. This is that night. So I'm pretty sure you'll be able to.
And in this case, she was pronounced dead on scene, but there was no evidence of decomposition. She probably died at some time after midnight. before she was found. So therefore, she should have plenty of blood for testing as well as other fluids.
As the body ages, say when you're getting to 2 hours, 5 hours, 10 hours, is it harder to get blood out of a body to test? And when you say we obtain tissue, what does that mean? You scrape some skin cells, you get a piece of her liver. What does that mean? Break it down. I didn't get my MD. I'm just a trial lawyer.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, absolutely. So it's very easy to obtain blood at autopsy from a person who's recently deceased. So all the blood is still going to be present within their vascular system and within their heart. So we try to obtain blood from both a peripheral source and a heart source because after death, drugs that are in blood can redistribute. So you want to make sure you're not looking at an abnormal finding. So you want to get both blood sites to compare for toxicology. For tissue, as I mentioned, you can go to the eye.
Man, speak English.
Sure.
What does that mean, man?
When you say
Nancy, we're on good terms again. I love you. We're on good terms again.
Obtain blood. I mean, what? Yeah. You put in a needle and you would draw blood just like you would a living person would at the doctor.
Absolutely,
then you said 2 sites. What do you mean by that? One off this arm, one off that arm? Or do you mean blood and vitreous fluid from the eye? What is bile?
What's it
mean, man? I have to work with you before I put you on the stand coin.
You get blood from a peripheral source like the femoral vein, your leg vein. So I'm doing the autopsy. I'm opening the body up. I have access to all of those blood vessels as well as the heart. So you literally use a needle and you obtain blood from the heart, or you obtain blood from any vein that you can find that has visible blood. You have access to the bladder. So you literally put a needle into the bladder and you pull urine out. You have access to the eyes. So you put a needle in the eyes and you pull vitreous fluid out. Your bile is in your gallbladder under your liver. You obtain bile. So you try to get as much fluid as you can. Then you have access to liver tissue for testing. You may also get skeletal muscle. You can get brain tissue for testing. So you try to obtain as many tissues as you can so you have plenty of samples for testing.
Hello, Nancy Grace here. To all of you homeowners, when's the last time you checked on your home title? If the answer is never, well, this is for you. Scammers steal home.
All right, hold on 1 second.
History.
A night of partying? What is he talking about? We don't know that. All we know, she's dead on a yacht. She's very young, very beautiful, screams wake up neighbors, and a naked man's running around. That's what I know. And I am not buying natural causes. No. Why is she being painted as a so-called party girl? Sounds to me that she worked her whole life to get where she is right now and finally had a tiny taste of success and is dead on a yacht. This is not going to be swept under any rug. And I don't care if it's a fancy Persian rug in somebody's second mansion in Montauk. No. N-O. It's not the first time murder has scarred the Hamptons, although they would like you to think that's never happened. Does the name Sabina Corumdale ring a bell?
He was supporting Sabina for, I believe, the 2 years they were together. He was really helping support her artistic endeavors.
New York artist Sabina Corumdale has made quite the name for herself with an art theory blog, the Rouillot Journal. But funding Sabina's lifestyle is her boyfriend, Thomas Gannon. The couple checks into the ritzy Hampton spa, Shashugi Bonhouse, but come Monday morning, a housekeeper finds Sabina violently murdered and Gannon nowhere to be found. Speaking with her Lyft driver on the way to the spa, a reporter discovers the driver actually took Gannon to his Pennsylvania home hours before Sabina was found dead.
The woman that I'm actually reporting on was found dead in her room, hours later. My gut instinct was like, this is just too strange. What would a man be walking out of a spa at 8 a.m. asking for a lift?
That's from our friends at True Crime News. Wow, does anybody see the similarities to Dr. Chloe Carmichael joining us, renowned psychologist? Dr. Chloe, another young, beautiful female entrepreneur. dead. Hamptons.
Yes, Nancy, it's really quite incredible. Obviously, we don't know if there's a connection, but what we do know, of course, about the Hamptons is that there's a lot of power and a lot of money. Sometimes that can create a lot of drive and a lot of passion. Maybe people who feel like they're very used to getting their own way. Also, unfortunately, I've been to the Hamptons myself. I've not participated in the drug culture there, but I have witnessed it firsthand. We do know that things can get very hot, very out of hand in the Hamptons. So perhaps.
Wow, the drug culture's wild. She didn't take part of it, but she saw it. Not that they were flying in shit from the Dominican Republic. My Lord.
The Hamptons myself, I've not participated in the drug culture there, but I have witnessed it firsthand. We do know that things can get very hot, very out of hand in the Hamptons. So perhaps that we do have some foul play at issue here.
Foul play as in, yeah, he was responsible. I mean, let's be real.
I've been there too. Normally, when I was invited to speak for a charity, I was totally a dog upstairs. You know, he knows he's not supposed to be up there, but he's up there, right? He knows he's going to get in trouble for being there. That's what that felt like.
What? Hold on. What? I didn't understand that. What?
At issue here.
I've been there too. Normally, when I was invited to speak for a charity, I was totally a dog upstairs. You know, he knows he's not supposed to be up there, but he's up there.
Like she wanted to. I mean, I mean, I first took it like she didn't. You know, that's not her scene either. So I'm just gonna hang up upstairs. It's not my scene. But what? I don't understand I don't know.
Right. He knows he's going to get in trouble for being there. That's what that felt like. It wasn't just Sabina. Ted Ammon.
The Hamptons sees a murder investigation when Ted Ammon is found beaten to death in his multi-million-dollar mansion just a day before he was set to sign divorce papers with wife Generosa, who had already moved on with high school dropout and convicted felon Danny Pelosi. The couple marries just 3 months later. Generosa and Pelosi already under suspicion for murder. Pelosi challenges Generosa's will.
And more on Ammon.
And it was that weekend that Ted had to die because Monday the agreement was supposed to be signed.
The woman told me 100 times she was going to go kill her husband. 100 times. Maybe this time it happened. But 100 times she left to kill her husband.
The person who committed the crime is the one that took the hard drive out and disposed of it.
And who was that person?
Oh, that was definitely Danny Pelosi.
And that from our friends at 48 Hours. What rich people do for even more money. I mean, Dan Murphy, homicide detective vet, star of Gold Shield's podcast, you know, it's a whole nother mindset. What really wealthy people will do, they'll kill to get more money so that nobody, as they perceive it, takes their money, or to cover up something going to do with money.
Yeah, I'm going to lose $50 million in the divorce. I'll give you 7 to get rid of her, and I get to keep 43 and you get 7. Wow.
It's hard to get into their heads.
Yeah, when it comes to money and greed, I've seen people out of greed do things that they probably would never have envisioned themselves doing. And there's also...
Right. It's like that saying, the more money you have, it just shows the more of what you really are. Like, the more money you have, if you're an asshole in real life, well, it's just going to glorify you being an asshole even more. Money just glorifies who you are even more.
The desire to hold on to or build upon a lifestyle that you want. And this has driven many people to either hire someone to kill somebody or to take it into their own hands. This is not uncommon at all. And it's a motivating factor for many people for homicide.
Yeah.
If you know or think you know anything about the death of this beautiful young fashion designer found dead on somebody's expensive yacht, please dial 631-852-6000. 6396, 631.
They ain't nobody from the only people that, unless there's some whisper in the background, that kind of secret is hard to keep secret unless there's some kind of whisper in the background and somebody wants to come forward after the fact. I don't see the people that are there are the ones that are going to know what took place unless there's some kind of conversation that is happening outside of that resort, that club. Otherwise, there ain't going to be nothing. It's going to be one of those secrets that's locked up in a safe and the keys thrown away. They protect each other. They're all interconnected. That's investments. I invested in this. And they, they're all connected. It's the house of cards. And that's wild about that's crazy. Nancy Grace was invited to speak there, but it's such a rug spot that she just stayed upstairs. I'm surprised she would even accept the speaking engagement. It's just weird. All right, you guys, I'm going to be hopping off right now. We'll be, I might come back tonight. I'm not sure, actually, either over here or over at the TV channel. I'm going to hop off here, kind of do the post-show prep, return messages and calls, and then I'll see what's up. And we got a lot of stuff to talk about, especially Idaho 4-2. We're going to be going through the 11/12 video, surveillance video that just came out earlier today from the Idaho Statesman. Shout out to them, Kevin Fixler, and some of these other cases and stuff too. I'm going to be talking some Delphi. We'll be doing a Delphi show here soon as well. There's some stuff I want to talk about that, and then we'll be talking about this too. I'm sure we're going to hear. I'm interested to hear what this toxicology is going to say. So we'll see. But we got to get this out in the, out there for the awareness. There's just, I don't know, something doesn't seem right. If you're coming across this on replay, I don't know. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you guys think after the show's on. Drop a comment after it's done. Let me know what you think. I don't know. It sounds to me like, it's just really convenient that her divorce was almost finalized. It seems really convenient. I mean, look at what these other cases that they just highlighted a second ago about divorces getting finalized, and this happens right before it, and so it I don't know. It just seems, but then the business partner's there, and he's naked, and that's my girlfriend, and I don't know. Something's not being told the truth, and it doesn't affect their tourism, and they don't want people coming in. They want to continue to do their things, and you hear all this stuff about the drug culture. Well, no wonder they want to keep everything quiet, because then when somebody says something, then they talk to this person and that person. Next thing you know, their whole empire shuts down. They don't need that. All right. I love you guys. Please be safe. Have a peaceful, positive evening. And I'll see you on the next live, whether it's tonight or tomorrow. Appreciate you guys. Please be safe.
Okay over there? Is your victim at the hospital? Someone shot there. Alright, the ET doesn't take pictures of the, is it domestic related?